name for you.
Yo, welcome back to the Underestimated Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Orr. We're back with episode 3, Ski Man. I told you this is going to be a very diverse podcast with many of different, variety of sports. So today I'm going to hit y'all with my 2022-2023 Mid-Season MLB Award predictions. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, I was going to kind of alternate between the National League and the American League, but instead I'm gonna just keep it on the same side until we get over to the next conference, saying that I'm gonna just give out my National League picks, then move over to the American League and get on my picks for that. So what I was initially going to do was I was going to give y'all my finalists and then my overall pick, but instead, what I'll do is I'm going to give y'all my actual pick, and then I will give two honorable mentions behind them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's jump on it. So for my National League, NL MVP, I got right fielder from the Atlanta Braves, number 13, Ronald Acuna Jr. Ronald Acuna is at the forefront of the success of the Atlanta Braves this season, leading them to the current first best record in the MLB and the best record in the National League as well at 47-26, making them obviously the current number one seed and probably in most eyes the favorite to win the World Series this year. And as of June 22nd, Acuna Jr. has the second best batting average at .327 in the MLB, along with 15 home runs, 46 RBIs, and the fourth best OPS in the MLB at .961. Acuna has an elite speed to his repertoire and an upper echelon amount of strength at 6 foot, 205 pounds, with quick wrists along with, cat-like reflexes, which makes him such a necessity to the Braves roster. And although the Braves have guys like Marcell Ozuna, Eddie Rosario, Ozzie Albies, Sean Murphy, and Nick Anderson, we all know that Ronald Acuna is the catalyst and the anchor behind the Braves' success this season, and he kind of has been for the last couple of seasons. So that's why I think he is the most valuable player out on the National League side of things. And I just overall think that the Atlanta Braves would not be the same team whatsoever if you were to extract Ronald Acuna Jr. from their squad. So, firstly, coming up as his two honorable mentions for the award, I have right fielder number 50 from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Mookie Betts. We all know what Mookie Betts is about. Generational talent, once in a lifetime player. Currently with a batting average of 260, 17 homers, 43 RBIs, and an OPS of 861. The team currently has a record of 41-33, which is sixth best in the NL and third best in the NL West. The Dodgers are also another one of those greatly constructed teams, top to bottom with players like Clayton Kershaw, Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Miguel Vargas, and JD Martinez. But I think, just like I said with Ronald Acuna Jr., although they are both on greatly assembled teams, top to bottom, you take them away from their teams, and their team is just not the same, without their vital presence being there. Now, with the next honorable mention, I was very prompted to put both Fernando Tatis Jr. and Juan Soto on the honorable mention list, but I didn't want two dudes from the same organization considered as finalists. So I went with Tatis, man. I went with Fernando Tatis Jr., number 23, right fielder from the San Diego Padres. Y'all know Tatis was suspended 80 games this season due to violating rules within the MLB, but in only 55 games this year, Tatis still managed to put up numbers of a batting average of 286 with 15 homers, 35 RBIs, and an OPS of 981. I'm sorry, 911. And the team has a record of 35 and 39, which is 10th best in the NL and 4th best in the NL West. I mean, Tatis is just one of my favorite guys in the league. Love his passion and his emotion and integrity that he brings to the game. Definitely the face of the San Diego Padres, right or wrong. I kind of expected them to be better as a team this year. I didn't actually think they would play this poorly, but I mean, it's a lot of games left in the season. I think they're only like 75 games into the season, so that means they have about 110, 107 games left. So they definitely have a lot of time to clear up those errors and mistakes and make a nice run for the World Series championship. Now for my NL Cy Young pick, I actually, as y'all know, the Cy Young Award is awarded to whoever is regarded as the best pitcher on that conference. But actually went with Clayton Kershaw, man. LA Dodgers starting pitcher number 22. Has a win-loss this year of 9-4, which is about 69%. An ERA of 2.72, 103 strikeouts, and a WHIP of 1.1. The team currently has a record of 41-33, which is third best in the NL West and sixth best in the NL. Kershaw has a prolific fastball, decent control of his pitches, sufficient velocity on his pitches, he has an elusive curveball, but similar to his fastball, is in need of more control of his pitches. An average, sort of changeup with smooth, sort of delivery on his pitches there. But yeah, man, I think Clayton Kershaw, even at the age of 35 now, is still one of the best pitchers in our game today, and oftenly regarded, in most eyes as one of the greatest pitchers of all time. I think, he can still be productive for at least another 3 to 5 more seasons in the MLB. And I firmly believe that if the Dodgers go ahead and make another World Series run this season, Kershaw is going to be, one of the key guys that plays a key role in that World Series enhancement. But coming in behind him as the other honorable mention, I have Zach Gallen, Arizona Diamondbacks starting pitcher number 23. Currently has a win-loss record of 9-2, which is about 82%. An ERA of 2.84, 104 strikeouts, 1.9 WHIP. He currently have a team record overall of 45-30, which is second best in the NL and first in NL West. The Arizona Diamondbacks are kind of a sleeper team and a kind of a team that just came out of the blue and surprised a lot of people this season because if you look at their roster, they don't necessarily have your typical top tier name brand, in a sense, players on their roster, but they just have a collective unit of guys who can just get it done and are productive, and then that which makes them a deep team to make a anticipated now deep World Series contention this season. I mean, nobody came in, into this season thinking, oh, the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be one of the best teams in Major League Baseball, but they have proved the doubters wrong, including myself. I obviously was one of those people that did not expect that or think that as well, but now are highly regarded as one of the teams to win the World Series this year. Now coming in behind him as the second honorable mention, I had a very tough time trying to choose the honorable mention for a second honorable mention, that is, for the National League Cy Young Award, because there's just so many guys who had similar stats to where it's kind of just like pick your poison, and kind of made it somewhat interchangeable as to who I picked. But I went with Chicago Cubs starting pitcher number 0, Marcus Stroman. Now, Marcus Stroman currently has a win-loss record of 9-4, which is about 69%. An ERA of 2.28, 83 strikeouts, and a WHIP of 1.02. The team has a record now of 36-38 as of today, which is sixth best in the NL and third best in the NL Central. The Cubs, outside of Cody Bellinger, aren't a team who, even though are still one of the most winningest franchises in the MLB, history, haven't really played up to the Cubs' winning ways this season. With a record of now 36-38, I mean, they still might be able to get a wild card spot this season if they, somehow manage to put the pieces together. Because, like I said, they still have 100 plus games left, which is, depending on how the rest of the cards are dealt, can be an advantage to them if some teams manage to slip up or if some teams manage to skyrocket and, take away other spots from other teams. Marcus Stroman is a very underrated pitcher in this league. I just gave y'all his stats. Great arm, prolific fastball, decent changeup. Can kind of almost hit you with any pitch and strike you out, which is not a repertoire that most pitchers have in the MLB. Rarely few of them can say, I can hit you with this pitch and strike you out, or this pitch and strike you out. It's kind of only maybe one or two pitches and they can throw at you. They can deeply hurt you if you go on the other side as a batter. But now let's move into the NL, National League Rookie of the Year. I have to admit, I haven't really heard much about the rookies this year as far as it pertains to the MLB. So I kind of had to do a little more research and film study on these guys. But the dude that stuck out to me most on the NL side of things was Corbin Carroll. Also coming from the Arizona Diamondbacks, left fielder number 7. Great kid, man. Only 22 years old. Left-handed batter and pitcher. Currently with a stat line of batting average of 298, 16 home runs, 40 RBIs, and an OPS of 962. Another one of those pieces that has deeply contributed to the success of the Arizona Diamondbacks this season. Kind of just came in and made a superior, immediate impact on the Diamondbacks. Dude is an exceptional hitter, a very crafty, shifty runner and defender. Great on defense as well. And being that this is how greatly he's starting off, he can definitely be a centerpiece and a franchise guy for the Diamondbacks going forward for, 10, 15 seasons and years to come. But I think that, you can't let his stats define him. Although his stats are great, but you really need to watch him and see the visual eye test that contributes to the impact that he gives to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Like I said, not a team that is constructed of players who are like your typical top tier name brand players in the league, but is one of those guys who can just get it done, come in and produce. Like I said, he's only 22. Only 22. I just named the guy earlier in Clayton Kershaw who's 35 and still putting up great numbers. And that's a 13-year difference. He's only in year 1. He's not a dude that came in at 19 or 18 or 20. He came in at 22. So can definitely could play at this level for at least 10, 15 more years to come, which is, if you ask me, a great pickup if you're the front office running the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, coming in as an honorable mention behind him, I have James Outman, center fielder from the LA Dodgers, number 33. Currently with a batting average of 230, 9 homers, 33 RBIs, and an OPS of 747. Also one of the young contributors to the success of the Dodgers this season. Just like Corbin Carroll, Outman is a great young talent. Great size. I would say that he seems to be a little bit on the bigger side. So probably needs to slim down a little. kind of be a little more fit. But I mean, clearly, with his stats that he's putting up, it's not affecting him much. Even though the Dodgers team is constructed of more so highly talented veteran guys, he's been one of the younger guys to come in and put in an immediate impact into the team. And like I said, that they are, you know, able to put pieces together to win another World Series this season, he could be a key piece and play a highly touted role into that World Series, enhancement as well. Coming in behind him, kind of my favorite rookie right now in the MLB, Kodai Senga. Number 34, starting pitcher from the New York Mets. Currently with a win-loss record, of 6-4, which is about 60%, an ERA of 3.53, 87 strikeouts, a WHIP of 1.33. The Mets have a record of 34-40, which is 12th best in the NL and 4th best in the NL East. And even though he may not look like it, the dude's 30. He's a 30-year-old MLB rookie. So because of that, I'm not exactly sure how much longer he has to play at this level. Like I just said with Clayton Kershaw, I know I keep bringing him up, but 35 and playing at a very high level, and he's 30. So if you want to compare those two, you can maybe say he has about 5 to 8 more years playing at this level if he can still keep his body intact. But I like this kid a lot, man. And most guys, Ozzy has an arm that's similar to rubber. I mean, dude got a poker face. You can kind of never scope him out. Like if you are at bat, you see Kodai Senga on the other side, it's kind of like you never know what he's going to hit you with because like his face will never tell the story of what he's about to bring. I always kind of give great body position on his deliveries, his pitches. He kind of tweaked his mechanics a little bit for stellar gradual improvement, kind of altering himself from the traditional modern style of delivering pitches to kind of his own unique style of play with his pitches. His main weapon is his fastball, but also has a very slept-on slider and curveball. So if you're at bat, don't underestimate his curveball or slider because it can give you some problems on the mound. But that will wrap up the NL side of things. So now let's move over to the AL. Coming in as my AL MVP, I mean, I wanted to go, I'm a Yankees fan. In case I didn't know, I didn't mention that in this video or this episode at all. But I'm a Yankees fan, so I really wanted to go with Aaron Judge. I actually found out, which I don't know how I'm just finding this out. Maybe I knew and just forgot, but apparently Aaron Judge was the AL MVP last season. But I mean, he got his money now, so I mean, it kind of, panned out the right way. But I mean, we surely, all know the obvious pick here for the AL MVP being nobody other than Shohei Ohtani, number 17, Los Angeles Angels starting pitcher. Ohtani is just, the guy's unbelievable, man. He's just a remarkable generational talent. In a sense, it's kind of like Patrick Mahomes and what he has brought to the NFL with kind of coming in immediately and playing at a historical level, because we all know that Shohei Ohtani is now amongst the greats, of all time. And so is Patrick Mahomes as it pertains to the NFL. But as far as what has Ohtani done this season, statistically wise, 63 win-loss record, which is about 67%. ERA of 3.1, 117 strikeouts with a whip of 1.04. But not just that, the dude is a amazing two-way player. The dude is just dangerous whether he's pitching or whether he's at bat. Like, it's just, you get everything out of Ohtani. The dude is a complete all-around baseball player. Because at bat, he has 12 home runs this season, along with 33 RBIs, and has led the Angels to a 41-35 record, which is 7th best in the AL and 3rd best in the AL West. The dude has elite power. Not the fastest, but is still somewhat of a prolific runner. Decent on defense. A above average fastball. And a top tier splitter. Kind of a mid tier with his slider and a decent cutter. But I mean, we go on and talk about Ohtani. It's kind of like I said, talking about a Patrick Mahomes or a LeBron James or a Victor Wembanyama. It's just the things that he's able to do is just unheard of and just never seen before. So I don't think I really need to spend much time to tell y'all who Shohei Ohtani is and what he brings to the table and why he should be the clear-cut favorite for the AL MVP. Coming in behind him, like I said, the dude who I wanted to pick, but obviously I'm not gonna be making biased opinions here on this, on this show. Aaron Judge, man, 99 from the Yankees, right fielder. Currently has a batting average of 291 with 19 homers, RBI, 40 RBIs, and OPS of 1.078. We got a record right now of 41-33, which is 5th best in the AL and 3rd best in the AL East. I mean, just has the New York Yankees written all over him. I mean, he's been the best guy we have had on roster since really the likes of Derek Jeter. And now it has solidified itself as one of the Yankee greats of all time, along with the likes of guys like Derek Jeter, Yogi Berra, Woody Ford, Babe Ruth, Bill Dickey, Mariano Rivera, Alex Rodriguez, Mickey Mantle, Bernie Williams, Andy Pettitte, guys of that nature. Aaron Judge solidified his name along with those great guys who have been able to suit up for my beloved Yankees. Obviously, we know that Aaron Judge is at the forefront of what has come about success this season. I just think that, man, Aaron Judge is another great player. Dude finally got his money. So thankful for that because I don't know what I would have done if we lost Aaron Judge. Just kind of everything you want in your franchise guy. Great character and, very charismatic. Never can question his game for the love of baseball. Team leader. And is only 31 years of age. So, I mean, as long as he continues to stay healthy, we still got a great player for the next, like I said, with other guys, for the, 7 years. Obviously, as presently constructed, you take Aaron Judge off of our team, and we by far are not the same team. I mean, we have great players like Giancarlo Stanton, Garrett Cole, Gleyber Torres, DJ LeMahieu, Josh Donaldson, my guy Anthony Rizzo. But I mean, you take, like I said, Aaron Judge away from us, we're just not the same team. Because in my eyes, I guess that will put Giancarlo Stanton or Garrett Cole, maybe, Anthony Rizzo as the best guy on our team. But I mean, I don't have to sit here and, also exclaim to y'all how great of a player Aaron Judge is and how much he contributes to the New York Yankees franchise. So I'm going to go ahead and come behind him with the second honorable mention for the AL MVP. That being number 27 from the Toronto Blue Jays, first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Kind of an all-around talent, well, not on the, let's say, level of Ohtani, but just a smaller tier, one-of-a-kind player. Currently has a batting average of 275, 9 home runs, 42 RBIs, and an OPS of 767. Along with the other two guys, also playing at a very, all-star caliber this season. And obviously, we know that the Toronto Blue Jays would not, by any means, be the same team without Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The Blue Jays currently sit 41-35 in the AL, which currently sits at 6th in the AL and 4th in the AL East. And aside from guys like Jose Barrios, Matt Chapman, and Bo Bichette, Guerrero Jr. is basically carrying this team on his back. I mean, leading them to what would, hopefully be the end goal to the promised land all in one motion. I mean, the way he's been able to produce for this club and give them the success that they've had this season kind of all on his own is completely remarkable. Guerrero is another one of those guys who is one of my favorite players in the league. I just think he's great, actually, on offense and defense. Can definitely get you a sneaky amount of steals if you allow him to. And I think, without a doubt, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will be the reason why, if the Toronto Blue Jays just so happen to make a deep World Series run this year, it would be because of him. It won't be because of anyone else. It would be because of BGJ. But that'll seize the AL MVP. Now we move to the AL Cy Young. Like I already said, the Cy Young is awarded to the best pitcher within that conference. And I finally got a Yankee for an award prediction. I got our very own number 45 starting pitcher from the New York Yankees, Gerrit Cole. Currently giving us a 8-1 win-loss record at pitcher, which is about 89%, an ERA of 2.64, 106 strikeouts, and a WHIP of 1.08. A very upper echelon fastball and slider, and a decent sort of changeup in a sense. I'll talk about the team record because I already mentioned that with Aaron Judge earlier, as he was the honorable mention for the AL MVP. But yeah, I mean, Gerrit Cole is, believe it or not, only 32 years of age. Like I said, Aaron Judge 31, he's 32, so they kind of coexist in age as far as the younger but still veterans of the New York Yankees. So him and Aaron Judge can kind of be at the forefront for the success of the New York Yankees for the next couple of years or so, as we continue to be hopefully a winning franchise for not just me, but the other New York Yankees fans around the world. But yeah, he's just my clear-cut favorite for the Cy Young pick. I finally got a Yankee. I went through, now this is I believe the 5th award of the episode. And I finally got me a Yankee. I had Aaron Judge as the honorable mention for the AL MVP, which I know I picked, Ohtani, of course. But, now let's get into the honorable mentions. So I have Shane McClanahan, number 18 from the Tampa Bay Rays, starting pitcher. Currently now with a win-loss record of 11-1, which is 92%, an ERA of 2.12, 97 strikeouts, and a WHIP of 1.10. The Rays currently stand at a record with 52 wins and 26 losses, which is actually right now best in the MLB and also the AL and the AL East. And, the Rays are also a team who no one kind of expected to play this well coming into this season, because aside of the likes of Wander Franco and Yandy Diaz, they don't, also have a team where it's constructed of many, top tier talent, and sort of, like I said, in a sense, name brand players, but have a deep team with players that are productive and can get it done. Um, maybe if you are a fan, you maybe have that bias or just deep belief in your team to have great success this season. But I don't think no one, unless you are a Tampa Bay Rays fan, had them coming in as now currently the best team in the MLB, and are now to most, have caught the eyes of most MLB fans, uh, into now being highly regarded by most as the favorites to win the 2023 World Series championship. Um, Shane recently just endeavored an injury a couple of days ago. Prayers to him. I hope he's all right, because he seems to be a very promising rookie for this Tampa Bay Rays franchise, and you kind of want him on the diamond, as long as possible. But coming in as the second honorable mention for the AL Cy Young Award, I have Christian Javier. Now with this third guy, the second honorable mention for the AL Cy Young Award, I had a hard time because, like I said, it just seemed like a bunch of guys had similar seasons to where it's kind of like, pick your poison situation and basically an interchangeable pick. I got Christian Javier, number 53 from the Houston Astros, starting pitcher, currently with a 7-1 win-loss record, which is about 88%, an ERA of 3.25, and 77 strikeouts with a WHIP of 1.12. They currently have a record of, the Astros that is, with a record of 41-34, which is currently second in the AL West and sixth in the total AL. When opposed to Jose Altuve and Jose Abreu, don't really have a deeply constructed roster also of guys who are top end talent. But Christian Javier has kind of shot himself up into being that third best player on the team. And I believe that Christian Javier is actually one of my favorite, guys in the league aside from Garrett Cole, which is just suave, savvy, smooth way that he plays the game and the way that he just delivers his pitches, with a great fastball, a decent slider and cutter. Kind of needs to work on his changeup, but I think, with him being kind of young, he can kind of, work on that and develop that over time as he gets more experience in the league. But those are my guys who are in contention for the AL Cy Young Award. Now moving forward to the AL Rookie of the Year. This one was kind of more close-knitted as opposed to the NL Rookie of the Year, because the AL actually has a lot of great rookies who are having stellar seasons this year. But my pick this year is Josh Jung. I hope I'm saying that right. Number 6 from the Texas Rangers, the third baseman. Currently this year with a batting average of .275, 15 home runs, 44 RBIs, and an OPS of .822. The Rangers currently have a record of 46-28, which is second best in the NL and third best in the MLB, while it is also first in the AL West. Josh is a great hitter, actually, and has an exceptional highly IQ for pitch recognition. He's a great pitch recognizer. Can hit the ball at just every level. Kind of not a pitch that you can throw at him that is going to throw him off when he's at bat. An exceptional batter, like I said. Strong instinctiveness and very quick-witted feet. While also having decent glove control. I think the Rangers got him a nice rookie in Josh. I believe that he can be one of the better third basemen in the league for years to come, and maybe about 3 to 5 years. The Rangers are also another team who, including myself, was not regarded as one of the better teams in the MLB, but do have some great guys on the roster with Marcus Semien, Josh Smith, obviously, the rookie of the year in my opinion, and Josh Jung, and Corey Seager. But Josh is actually one of the more younger guys in the league at 25 years old. So they definitely are going to be able to get a lot of more productive years out of him for the next, arguably the next 5 to 10 years. And can be in World Series contention in those years as well. And if they just so happen to win the World Series this year, Josh would definitely be, one of the top guys who would be in contribution to that World Series win for the Texas Rangers. Now, as my first honorable mention, I have another one of my actually like all three of the dudes that I put down as my pick and honorable mentions for the AL Rookie of the Year, but I got Gunnar Henderson, number 2 from the Baltimore Orioles, the third baseman. Currently, he has a batting average of 242, 11 homers, 27 RBIs, and an OPS of .807. The Orioles currently have a record of 45-28, which is third best in the AL and second best in the AL East and fourth best in the MLB in totality. Baltimore Orioles are, another one of those teams of the selective few who were regarded as, teams that would end up on the bottom end or the bottom half of the MLB this season. But that surprised a lot of us, including myself. But as far as it pertains to Gunnar Henderson, guy's 21 years old, was highly regarded as the preseason AL Rookie of the Year by most, educated baseball fanatics. Played great with the Baltimore Orioles minor league squad and was eventually, brought up to the majors after playing exceptionally well in the minors. Was regarded as the number 1 prospect coming into the MLB draft of 2023. I'm sorry, 22, that is. Left-handed pitcher, I don't know what it is. It's just something about left-handed athletes that just is very intriguing to me. Well, actually, he's ambidextrous because he bats with the left but throws his pitches with the right. Not typically your best guy at bat or your fastest guy, but has, sufficient power. Definitely needs to work on his fielding ability as well because that's kind of not up to par, but has an exceptional top tier arm. So I definitely think with the proper development and, right pieces around him, the Baltimore Orioles can be in deep contention for the World Series in more years to come, with Gunnar Henderson being at the forefront of those plans. Now, wrapping up the AL Rookie of the Year prediction for myself, I have another great up-and-coming rookie in the MLB, Boston Red Sox left fielder number 7, Masataka Yoshida. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. But he has a batting average currently that stands at .304, 8 homers, 39 RBIs, and an OPS of .854. Is one of the young guys that is a part of the Red Sox's current record of 39-37, which is actually 9th best in the AL, 5th best in the AL East. But, like I said, it is, this is just midseason. They have plenty of time to put the pieces together and make moves to get back to their Boston Red Sox winning ways. Even though they're not under 500, they're 2 games above 500 as it currently stands today. So they definitely have time to develop on that and be supremely above 500 as the season progresses. I actually like Yoshida's game a lot. He's actually highly regarded by most as a reputational slugger. but that is kind of misleading to ones who don't necessarily take the time out to actually watch what he brings to the Boston Red Sox. He actually never reached 30 homers. He had a career high 29 in 2019. He's actually pushing 30 as a rookie, and I think the older rookies are kind of concerning because you don't really know how long of a tenure of a career they're going to have if they're already pushing 30 and they're just starting their rookie years. But he has hit 21 home runs in each of the last 2 seasons. He kind of has a bit of a uppercut in his swing, which kind of means he needs to elevate his arm position on his swing, because it kind of minimizes his output to his power with him having kind of a smaller frame at 5'8", 176. But he kind of gives his effort into all the swings, so he actually still displays upper echelon plate discipline skills. He struck out only 41 times this season, while walking only 80 times, which is about 16%. But if we remove the intentional walks, he still maintain a healthy 13% walk rate. So I think as far as it concerns, pertains to the Red Sox, I think they got a great guy in Yoshida, who they can still probably get about 5 or 8 productive, decent seasons from him. But I think he'll be, at the forefront for their success for years to come. But yeah, that will wrap up episode 3, where I give my mid-season 2022-2023 MLB award predictions. I do want to say this. So this is episode 3. In a previous episode, I exclaimed that I was waiting on a pair of headphones to give you guys better audio quality and visual quality going forward. So now, from episode 4 going forward, I will be doing video podcasts. So if you are one who was one of the ones who requested that I start doing video podcasts, they will be coming out as soon as episode 4, which I intend to have come out on Monday. But if you are someone who just rather, listen to audio only, then you would stick to Spotify, because I'm not doing video podcasts there. I'm only going to be doing the audio versions only on Spotify. But if you are one who are intrigued to the video podcast, then you will head to YouTube, and that's where I'll be on there. I just want to say thank you for the love and support. My personal and podcast social medias will be in the description, so y'all can check me out there. Send your requests on what you want me to come in and talk about. Like I said, if it is credible, I will come in and talk about it. But that's it for this episode, man. I hope y'all continue to have a great Friday, and don't forget, don't underestimate, appreciate. I'm your host, Jeremy Orr. That caps off episode 3. I'm gone.